Retrievers, and this is Steve, who is going to be leaving us tomorrow. He is 10 weeks and 3 days old, and Steve and I are going to demonstrate to you how you need to go about transitioning the training from our home to your home. And I'm going to give you an abbreviated version of what a typical training session for you should look like. And Steve is going to help me do that. First of all, I want to say that one difference that you should make between what I'm doing and what you're doing is not having the distraction of constantly talking. You need to be focusing in on your puppy so that your puppy doesn't lose interest. You need to make sure that he's wanting to work to you because you've already got a big load on your plate with just trying to get your puppy to understand you and him, you understanding the puppy and the puppy understanding you. So I'm going to call Steve over here. He is 10 weeks and 3 days old. He's leaving us tomorrow, and he's going to help me demonstrate just a typical abbreviated training session. Steve, come. So the first time you do a recall, you don't need to do it when he's distracted. You need to do it when he's about to come to you anyway. And just like everything I'm showing you, you need to start with the basics. But the recall especially, you need to be very careful in making sure that he's always successful. And I'll explain more about that a little bit later. All right, so the down, you're going to start with just, yes, rewarding, nothing but sits and downs, okay, and eye contact. You're going to stay close to him, and you're going to have your treat bag behind you so that he doesn't focus on the treats. So right now I'm kind of readjusting here. All right, so up swing of the hand, yes, needs to sit. Yes, and you want to just reward him for just sitting there really close to you. Yes. You need to make sure that you are being timely with your rewards, because if you wait, you've got to reward him down. Yes. Did you notice that I rewarded him as soon as he even, yes, started to go down? Because he is going to be unsure when he tries, or any puppy is going to be unsure. Down. Yes. When they try to do what you're asking them to do, if exactly what it is you're asking them to do, because sit, your voice is going to be different from mine. So you're going to work on this probably the first training session. Yes. And just go back and forth doing the simple things. Yes. Just making sure that you are rewarding quickly. Sit. He is following the, good boy. Good boy, Steve. He's following my hand signals more than the verbal. Yes. Down. So you need to do both. And just now I kind of messed up on my training and said yes. I'm trying to think about him and talking at the same time. So again, make sure that you are focusing on your puppy. Down. Yes. All right, now once he's doing well with the sits and the downs, sit, then you're going to move on to teaching him to stay in position. Down. Yes. The first time you do that, you're going to reward him when he goes down. Yes, and you probably shouldn't back away quite as far as I did, nor should you back away for as long as I did. And yes, you're going to reward him frequently the first day. Yes, and when you do the down stay, down, yes, you do the down, you say yes, and I repeat the down word. We don't use a stay command, yes, because we want our puppies to remain in whatever position we tell them to stay in. Yes, until we release them with an okay command. So sit means to sit until I release you, but down. I do repeat the command early on, which is what I encourage you to do. Now after you've been working with this for a few days and your puppy is pretty good at it, yes, then you can start doing it without rewarding in between. Down. Yes. Now it is, I think, like 85 degrees in here right now, so he's a bit hot, and so am I. So you need to probably sit, train where he's comfortable in the first few training sessions. So you want to make it easy so that he starts off successfully. Sit. Yes. So probably I'm going back too far for what you need to be doing in the beginning. Down. You need, yes, All the puppies that leave us at 10 weeks or more know how to go down all the way with their elbows down. If they go halfway down, you need to weight them out. That's not good enough. Down. Yes. So the longer you leave your puppy with us, the more proficient they're going to be at the sits and downs, especially the stays, because we just taught that right before they're 10 weeks old, the stays, and they're still getting the sits and the downs a little bit confused. So whichever one your puppy is having the most trouble with, that's the one you need to be working on. And the sooner you pick up the puppy, probably the more you're going to have to work on one or the other, the less solid it's going to be. Yes. So if your puppy is just laying still, I'm just rewarding every now and then just because I don't want to lose his attention. Yes, because puppies at 10 weeks have really short attention spans. So when I say yes, that is a release. He's allowed to jump up like that. But I don't want him to jump up until after I say yes. So if I'm going to do a down stay, and again, this is after you've had your puppy home for several days, down. Number one, I don't walk back if the puppy is off looking at something else. And up until they're 12, a lot of puppies, even when they're older, they're going to look away from you because there's going to be noises and that kind of thing. But you don't want to start walking back to them until they look back at you and they have full eye contact. Also, if you let them, and if you don't make them wait until you get all the way back, some puppies will tend to jump up as soon as you start walking towards them. They assume that the walk back to them is the release command, and you want to make sure that they understand that that's not the case. Yes. You want to make sure that you're even tempting them when you walk back to them. Like holding out some food here. It's like you're not allowed to move. Yes, until you hear the yes command. All right, so gradually, you need to just, that's a good boy. You're free to run around. Good boy. So okay means a release. Yes means that you've done what I asked you and you're fixing to get food. So he's been released, and so I think that's a good thing. You know, you work for just a little bit and then let them run around. And then when they come back to you, then it's time to work again. So one key point is to not work your puppy past where they're getting bored. You need to keep it fresh and interesting. I will, if I'm not talking, I'll work with, Steve, come! I'll work with them for 20 minutes, but I don't advise most people to work more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time and do it multiple times a day. All right, on your leash work, the leash is here primarily because, oh, and I don't have a leash, so let's see. Okay, so I've gone to get my leash now, and I'm going to show you how to do the leash work. Now, for positive reinforcement to really have its work with leash training, okay, now, part of positive reinforcement training is to not reward bad behavior. So they will quickly learn that a jumping gets them absolutely nothing. And he's getting bored with my talking all the time, so again, you need to make sure that you're not talking too awfully much. Let's go! This is a very small area for us to go back and forth in. It's going to be a lot easier if you do it in your driveway, but let's go. Yes, you want your puppy to be not regulating the speed. Let's go. You need to regulate the speed, and you need to walk slow sometimes, and then other times you need to walk fast. Going in the inside, turning to the inside of them makes them have to, yes, slow down, and turning to the outside makes them have to speed up. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, and you'll notice my leash is just drooping here. Most of the puppies really don't depend on the leash, but I do like to work with them with a leash on just because it teaches them to ignore the leash flopping down in front of them. Steve? Let's go. Good boy. Good job. Good. Good job. Good. Good. Come on, Steve. Steve? Yes, good job. Good boy, Steve. So when you take your puppy out on a walk, I think the easiest way for me to explain this might be in writing, and we're going to have a new page on our website that's going to be entitled After Puppy Pickup, which is going to give you some tips on how to continue the training, some do's and some don'ts, and I'll go over the things about how long a leash walk should be and how you should break it up. Let's go. Yes. I want to demonstrate a little bit, a very abbreviated version of our mealtime routine, just so that you know how to pick up on this, because we feel like this is a very important part of what we do. Steve, and this mat is new, and he's sniffing around on it. All right, so tell him to get in and point in the crate. And once he learns your crate, you won't have to point and tell him to get in. As soon as you open the door, he's going to fly in there. We like to keep our crates closed at all times with a blanket in there on half of the crate and a bully stick that he never gets anywhere except for in his crate. Now he's hot, ready to go to sleep, and so he's laying down, but normally I prefer them if they're sitting up instead of laying down before they do this, but if he's laying down, that's fine. But for you, it's probably going to be a lot easier just to ensure that he does it right if he's sitting up instead of laying down. The principle is still the same. You're going to put the food bowl down, you're going to have one hand ready to catch him just in case he goes for the food. He's never gotten the food with me. He knows my expectations, and I don't have to do that, but you're going to have to just make sure that he doesn't succeed in getting the food. So, all right, Steve. All right. So, yes. Now we have just now gotten to the point where I can close the crate like that, but I was ready with my hand. I put the food bowl down, and my hand was ready. If he should have decided to try to go for that food, I knew I could stick my hand in there. But I know that for me, he's to the point where he's never tried, he has not tried to get that food in weeks, and so I knew that I can trust him. But you can't trust your puppy yet. You will be able to very soon. If just a few days of him knowing that he can't get it, and he will know that your expectations are exactly the same as mine. So I'm going to do this one more time, and this time I'm going to demonstrate how you need to do it the very first time you do it. Bowl down with one hand, hand under the chin with the other. Okay. So as soon as you say okay, you can stand up and take your hand away and let him dive into his food bowl. So if you'll build the crate time around his nap time, he's going to be happy in there for a long time. He's now happy in there for 30, 45 minutes when he's wide awake. We normally do this, of course, in the house instead of in our garage. And he has a bully stick in there, a blanket on one side of the crate, and they'll have their crate time 3 times a day at mealtime. When their crate time is over, and for you, if you build it around the nap time, it'll be much longer, and you can adjust their nap times to suit your schedule so that you can have your time away from puppy, because everybody needs that. And but once he's been in there for his nap or whatever, you want to make sure he doesn't charge out. And this same principle is going to hold true with gates or doors or pins. You want to make sure that they are sitting, no paws on the sides, no jumping up on the sides, sitting or in a down position, giving good eye contact. You open the door. Okay. Okay means you're allowed to come out, but most of them like their crate so much that unless they've been in there for a long period of time, they just stand there or sit there. So the okay command means you are free to do whatever. It doesn't mean you have to do what I've released you to do. The yes command is different from the okay command in that yes means you've done what I asked you to do, a particular command, you've been successful, and a reward is coming. With an okay command, there is no reward except for just freedom. All right, is there, oh, Kuranda bed. You want to do that? Okay, the Kuranda bed is a place. A lot of people like to use a place cot. I prefer personally just to have my dogs crated if I don't want them to interact with friends. And he's gone over to see Jen on the camera. Steve, come! Again, don't use the Steve come unless you've got treats. Point, say place on the place cot. I'm wanting to go down. Yes, and I was wanting him to stay there until I came back. Again, the same as on the floor. When you first start this, you'll say place, yes, reward. You'll go down, yes, reward. And then you'll go down again and back off for a very short stay. But you want to work the easier things first and barely back up. And again, according to when you pick up your puppy, they will be trained to a different level of distance, duration, as well as distractions with regard to the stays. And so you want to make sure that you're working back up to wherever I have the puppy trained to, which we'll go over that when you pick up the puppy. Good boy. Good boy.